What's up, guys? Just playing a little bit of No Man's Sky, but I wanted to talk a little bit about microtransactions. I've been trying to make this video all day and it's really doing me fucking head in. The reason I wanted to make the video is because of Shadow of War coming out soon, and it was a game that I was really looking forward to because I played the first one. The first one was actually my game of the year when the year it came out, but I didn't actually finish it. I put it down to play something else, and I've only just finished it recently, and maybe within the last month. And I thought it was great. I was trying to do all the side stuff. I think I'm 2 hunting missions off getting 100% on it. So really good game. And then they've been showing screenshots and gameplay and how it looks on the PlayStation Pro and all this sort of stuff. And it looks really good. This new Shadow of War, the Nemesis systems obviously in the game, which I thought was a big factor for why I liked the first game. The fact that you'd fight these orcs, and then if you lost or if they got away, if you burnt them, if you set them on fire, they'd have burn marks, and then remember the next time you seen them and stuff. So it was a new kind of element to a game. It was like as almost as really cool AI, and I really enjoyed it. So when I've kind of learnt that microtransactions are going to be quite heavy in Shadow of War, obviously a little bit disappointed. It's very hard to talk about microtransactions without contradicting yourself, because I do believe that everybody at some point or another has used or bought microtransactions. I know I have, I'll be honest. I've used microtransactions in Overwatch, and quite heavily in Destiny, buying emotes and stuff like that, just because, you know, you get bored and you think, I'll just buy that, it's cool, nobody else will have it, or, you know. So I've bought microtransactions, but I'm not a big fan of them. I don't like the way that it's kind of, they're coming into all elements of games now. It seems now that they're leaking into single player games like Deus Ex, and Shadow of War. And I know there's a lot of people that's kind of kicking off about it, but there's a lot of people that are kind of not defending it, but just sort of saying the old kind of same arguments as you don't have to buy them. And that's true, you don't have to buy microtransactions, but it's because microtransactions are going to be in the game's going to be a lot more grindy, the gameplay is going to be a lot more grindy. So there will be, you know, sometimes I kind of worry that will the developers make the game kind of really hard in places that will kind of maybe push gamers to the limit of them going, well, fuck it, I'll just buy this loot box so I can get this kind of weapon, so it might help me to get further into the game. So there's that kind of element into it. I don't think it's as straightforward as, well, you don't have to buy them, because I think that's just something they have to say by law. Because if they brought a game out and it was just microtransactions, like you had to buy microtransactions, we'd all boycott it and everything like that, and it wouldn't sell very well. So I think they've just got to say as a disclaimer, oh, you don't have to buy them, you can unlock everything in the game. And then there's a lot of people saying that it's a single player game, you know, blah blah, but there's actually a multiplayer side to it as well, which is kind of like tower defences, and it's like I would place different orcs or goblins at my tower, and the orcs and goblins can be like legendary, normal, rare, or whatever like that. Definitely legendary. So obviously the people that are opening these loot boxes, and you can get war crates, which is like, I think you get 4 different types of orcs and goblins and trolls in them. And then there's experience you can get that can make different orcs and different characters up to like legendary status. So then you can place these legendary goblins and characters and orcs at your tower, so you'll have better defense to stop other people from attacking your tower and then getting all your stuff. Something I don't think Shadow of War needs. I don't think it needs a multiplayer. If anything, maybe a cooperative side to it, cooperative element. So that's kind of something I think they've just kind of shoehorned in. That's going to heavily be like, well, if you buy these crates and stuff, then you know you're going to be able to defend your bases better. And I think that's kind of, I wouldn't say it's pay to win, but it's kind of getting to that level. The single player, you can just progress your own character. The main character, I forget his name. You can use XP to level up, or you can get these war crates, which will give you goblins and trolls and orcs and stuff to go towards the army in game. Now the first game was always there was never any shortage of Uruks or anything like that. To take over and use the white hand to bring them over to your side to fight for you. Now you're gonna have to use these. I mean, everything's unlockable in the game, but I don't know. It just seems a bit. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna get it anymore. I don't think I'm gonna pick it up anymore. I might wait for a review. I don't like seeing all this in games, and I know it's a hard one to talk about because there's loopholes and there's certain ways. Like if you look at Overwatch, for instance, you know, I've bought loot boxes in Overwatch, and the way that I look at that, and the way a lot of other people look at that is, well, the game puts out free maps and free characters and free levels and, you know, free events and stuff like that. So buying loot boxes goes towards that. You kind of tipping them in a way, I suppose. But you've already paid 40, 50 pounds for the game, so that should be it really. You shouldn't have to put any more money in. But because they give free content, I kind of think that's fair enough. But then there's another side to it. It's like, well, if that, maybe other developers, maybe Shadow of War have seen Overwatch and seen how well that game's doing, and thought, well, if they're doing it and getting away with it, then we can do it and get away with it. You know, and you know, I know Angry Joe was saying it as well. Angry Joe was he's a bit angry about it, which, you know, is fair enough, as a lot of people are. And he was saying that it wouldn't matter if you bought the game, but I'm thinking, well, if he's saying that to people, and I'll get onto YouTube's in a minute, but if you're saying that to people, that, oh, it doesn't matter if you buy the game, but he also said just don't buy any of the microtransactions, then I think that still doesn't really send a positive message, because if Shadow of War sells 10 million copies and other developers are looking at that and going, they've just sold 10 million copies of that game with the microtransactions in place, oh my god, we're going to do it. And I think we're slowly, I mean, every game, not every game, but there's a lot of games now that have got microtransactions, and you don't have to buy them. But the point that I'm trying to make is that they're very easy to buy, and you're buying it with cash that is digital money. It's not like my bank account, my bank card's attached to my PlayStation. 2 clicks of a button and I can get myself 10 loot boxes or whatever like that. It's very easy, and I think we've got to kind of think about kids as well. And I just think this is slowly going to get worse. Everyone was going mental at Deus Ex when they brought microtransactions into the fray, and that was a single player game. And I honestly don't even think that the microtransactions in Deus Ex were that bad. It was, you could buy a Praxis kit for $1.99, which would kit out your character. I understand that's... But I played through that game without buying a single microtransaction. And that was fair enough. I just felt like they cut bits of content out for DLC. The thing about YouTubers, I watched a lot of stuff about YouTube on YouTubers. I watched their opinions and stuff, and there was a lot of them I watched. I won't name any names. Angry Joe was one of them. Review Tech USA was another, and there was Dreamcast Guy as well. There's three that I'll mention. And
Weapon charge depleted.
these guys have got Angry Joe more so than anyone, but these guys have got platforms like big YouTube channels. Have got, like I said in the last video, they've got kind of a big responsibility to their audience to create content, and they have a lot of sway on opinion and stuff like that, especially when it comes to like reviewing games.
Weapon charge depleted.
And when you've got a YouTuber, whether it be Angry Joe, Dreamcast Guy, the one that kind of annoyed me was Dreamcast Guy, because he was having this really big rant about microtransactions and how everyone should boycott the game and all this sort of thing, and then he said but he was still going to pick it up and review it, and I thought, right, well, you should lead by example. You should lead by your own example.
Weapon charge depleted.
You should lead by your own example.
Technology recharge.
You're not protecting a very good example to your younger audience. You know, if they're hearing you say boycott this game, blah blah blah, but then you're turning around and saying, "Oh, I'm still going to buy it." It's kind of defeats the object of why you're ranting about it in the first place. You know, stick to what you believe in. So I don't think I'm going to buy it. If they, and I'm really hoping that the gaming community, because, you know, I know a lot of people moan about stuff, but moaning's the way we got the Xbox DRM taken out. You know, moaning's how we got, I can't really think off the top of my head, but the Xbox DRM kind of sticks in my head about like how we got that changed back to, you know, being able to use used games and everything. That was due to complaining. So I don't think complaining is bad, as long as it's valid. And I think that maybe we should start boycotting these games. And, you know, I know like Overwatch is a super popular game, and you're going to get a lot of backlash of people if you start saying any negative things about that, or anything like any negative stuff about any other certain games that are quite big. But I do think that we need to start speaking out about these microtransactions, because it's, I don't know, I mean, if a game's free to play and they do a good job, and then you want to give them £10 because you think, right, it's free, I'm having a good time with it, I'll give them 10 quid, then I suppose that's fine as well. Yeah, even DLC, I'm not against DLC. I'm against the people that abuse DLC. I'm against the people that abuse microtransactions, and unfortunately I just think that this is kind of being a bit abusive with what's going on. Like DLC, I think DLC is good, but it's the games like Skyrim, Fallout, Borderlands, things with like substantial DLC that add a decent amount of content, almost in like it's a new game in like another 30-40 hours. That's fine, but when you've got like, you know, games like Evolve that were just microtransactions out the arse, and you know, them games haven't lasted long, and you've got all these other games that are just like Street Fighter with all the hassle they had with their content, and it was like, you can get these costumes, Dead or Alive last round, the microtransactions in that was just ridiculous. I mean, I think if you wanted to unlock all the characters, I did a video on that in one of my videos as well, where it's like 100 and something quid to unlock every single character. Fortnite, I've just bought Fortnite. I paid the standard edition price, it was 32 quid. I haven't gone anything higher than that. I haven't bought any microtransactions, and I'm kind of having a little bit of fun with it. But I don't think I'm going to throw any more money into it, because the microtransactions in it are just a bit silly. So I don't know, it's a weird one. I can understand like when people say, oh well, I've got 4 kids, I don't really get a lot of time to play video games, and if I can play Shadow of War in 30 hours rather than 80 by cutting a few corners and getting a few loot boxes and stuff, then I'm going to do it because my game time's less than somebody else's. I can understand that as well. But I don't think I'm going to pick it up. I didn't really like what I saw. I don't think the game needs microtransactions. And the multiplayer side of it doesn't really appeal to me. And I think that unless it gets patched out or a lot of people complain about it, and then Warner Brother Games do something about it and take it out, then I don't think I'll be picking it up. And it's a real shame because I was really looking forward to that game, but I'm going to stick by my guns. I haven't picked up an Xbox One because of this very reason with the DRM. I know it's well beyond its date now, and I'm looking at getting an Xbox in November, one of the new ones, the One X. But that's just because everything's been sorted and it's a totally different machine to the Don Matrick, you know, piece of shit that we were shown. But it's up to everybody else. I mean, I don't think I'm preaching. I don't want to preach. I think everyone should have a right to buy and play and do whatever they want with their own money. But I just think if these business practices keep coming in and keep being accepted by people, then they're just going to get worse and worse and worse until they're going to be in every game, and then gaming's just going to be like mobile gaming. And I heard of one YouTuber say that he was quite proud to be a gamer because it was kind of like games were being held up towards movies and stuff like that, and this was like the early age of gaming when it was just starting to come back with, like, you know, the PlayStation, the 64 and all that sort of stuff. And he was saying something like he was quite proud to be a gamer because games were coming back and it was like a really cool thing to be into and stuff like that. And now it just seems like it's being a bit of a money train and being made into like a business kind of thing. And I don't know. I'm just talking out loud. But I've been trying to make this video all day because I think it's kind of an important thing. If you look at games like The Witcher, you know, the way they handled their DLC, the way they handled like their content, they gave away 16 free bits of DLC and then two amazing season passes. Two amazing expansions, which you can now get for, like, on PlayStation Store now, underneath the summer sale thing. You can get the Witcher Game of the Year edition for less than 20 quid, which is a bargain. And I'm hoping that they'll stay true to themselves when Cyberpunk comes out. But I do believe that it's Warner Brother Games, and most of the time, you know, it's Activision. Not Activision in general. I meant to say publisher there. No, it's not always Activision. It's not always Activision behind the curtain, twiddling the moustache, saying, "Ha!" You know, it's. I do believe it was Warner Brother Games for this game, but normally it tends to be the publisher, which is very shit. I mean, you've got Activision who brought out the remaster. The Modern Warfare 4 remaster, and then they said they were never going to release it as a single game, that you had to buy it with this £70 version of Call of Duty. So I bought it, and now they've re-released it as a separate game and they've charged full price for it. So it's weird. It's just these dodgy business practices that are pissing me off. You know, before that, there was rumoured that Activision were going to do a Call of Duty remaster on one disc. It was going to be Modern Warfare 1, 2 and 3, and you were going to be able to mix up the whole maps from all three games. And then decided to do what they did there, but so have to wait and see. But I do think that I'm gonna stay clear of that Shadow of War. I could buy it and not use any microtransactions, but it's the principle for me. I just think that game does not need microtransactions at all, and I don't really want to see this happen in everything that's going to come out, because this isn't gaming for me. I remember when you used to put a cheat code into a game to get, like, if you play Grand Theft Auto, put a cheat code in to get a rocket launcher or, you know, a helicopter and stuff like that. And now it seems like instead of putting the cheat code in, you've got to put your bank details in. It's quite sad to see. But I'm just an old gamer, so I'm assuming that everything's just going to change and this is the way things are going to go. But I do think that we need to kind of still be a bit mindful of what's going on when it comes to microtransactions and stuff like that. But that's just my opinion on it anyway. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you again for another video.